we hope that with this new board that we have done, and we have worked with the GVN, that we want to make sure that the people really knows about your work and what actually the Institute can do. I've been very fortunate to have served for the last 10 years on the Institute of Human Virology for the School of Medicine and University of Maryland, so that I was privileged to be asked by Dr. Gallo to serve on the board, and I have to tell you, I've been thrilled.
The first thing I will tell you about Dr. Gallo is that he does not favor long introductions. But I do think I should say a few things about him. Dr. Gallo is, as many of us know, one of the world's greatest scientists. In the early 80s, he co-discovered that HIV causes AIDS. This led directly to the development of the HIV blood test, which cleaned up the blood supply, and led to the development of the first AIDS drugs. It's not an overstatement to say that millions of lives have been saved and untold human suffering because of Dr. Gallo's work. But before AIDS, he was already an accomplished researcher. He had discovered the first virus that causes cancer, the HTLV1 and then HTLV2. And he also discovered interleukin-2, which many of you might know is used today as a cancer treatment. So Dr. Gallo's career has, I think, touched many lives, certainly in this room, and definitely globally.
See, what would we do today if something like SARS broke out in China again? Those in a reasonable leadership position in the scientific community in GVN would look at the list and say, where are the respiratory virologists? Virologists who deal with lung infections, acute, killing. So you look at your list and say, oh God, there's about 14 of them. So you'd ask them what to do, they'd give advice. Then you'd go to the China GVN and say, this is what we recommend. Go to your government to recommend that. Then we'd go to hopefully a central pot where there was $25 or something, and we'd say, we have a little money to provide travel to 3 or 4 of the GVN scientists to go to China and to offer help. So the GVN offers help when asked. You can't be first responders. We get in trouble with CDC, we were told that, and the WHO. We can consult, we can be available, we can obviously do the science, we can be the, what do we want to be? The ultimate experts. And we want to train future generations which are not keeping up in numbers. Virology is not a popular field today. It goes down. If AIDS disappeared tomorrow, it would go down dramatically more. And I look at it and get astounded because it causes so much disease, there's so much unpredictability. And because if I'm a developing nation, what an ideal topic. If I want to build the future of science and I'm in Abu Dhabi, let's say, what if I build a center and I say, let's do viruses. Out of viruses will come medical expertise in science. And yet, immediately, we'll have viral diagnostics at a high level. We'll diagnose the viral problems we have in our country. So it automatically has an immediate spillover. So it seems evident that this kind of thing is needed. We need center of excellences all over the world.
We are in 22 different countries, in 35 different centers. We didn't mention Dr. Bob Redfield, who works very closely with Bob, and particularly with the PEPFAR grants, and helps us all out. And really, we are here tonight because we've started this under Tim's terrific leadership, and the idea is that we really need to raise money. To be blunt, we had now meetings in Ireland and in Italy. We just returned from Munich last week. We're going to Moscow in September and to China next year. It is a global network, and it is important as we see these meetings, you see these scientists, they talk to one another, they learn from one another. At one point, a scientist from Michigan was saying, wow, that virus sounds just like the virus that that the Japanese had just looked at and found. They were excited about learning things that they hadn't known before. There was somebody from Nigeria who said, we need help with hepatitis B because we are seeing many people who have that disease and we're not being able to treat them the way that we want. We need better scientists to come to us and to help us. And so what we've seen from these meetings all around the world that this is a critical issue. The idea of scientists talking to one another, helping one another, sharing ideas with one another, and then going into the developing world and helping to develop the infrastructure there to make sure that the scientists who are on the front lines in many places where they're the bats and the other horrible things that give us these viruses can be seen, can be discovered, and identified.
The news,